Hello everyone. Welcome to our conversation, a theology of suffering. Today there is widespread fear and panic and anxiety among people because of this global pandemic, this COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak. More than 2 million people are infected and almost 200,000 people are dead. Kaya nga punong-puno ng pangamba at takot ang puso ng mga tao ngayon. It's like there is a question in our hearts. How can we find confidence? How can we find strength and encouragement, peace amidst this crisis? And how can we still be assured that God is in charge of the world? You know, for many years, philosophers and theologians have been asking that same question. If there is a good God, if there is a loving God, a powerful God that cares for us, so why is there evil and pain and suffering in the world? Oo nga naman, Kung merong Diyos na mabuti, makapangyarihan at nagmamahal sa atin, bakit merong kaguluhan sa mundo at punong-puno ng kasamaan at punong-puno ng mga sakit at karamdaman ang nangyayari at sakuna sa mundo natin? If there is a good God, why is there evil and pain and suffering in the world? And so a lot of people have given different responses to that question. Others will propose that maybe there is no God at all. Perhaps God is not real. Baka walang Diyos, kaya punong-puno ng kaguluhan ng mundong ito. Others say, perhaps God is not good. He is the source of evil. Baka naman ang Diyos, meron siya, totoong may Diyos, pero hindi siya mabuti. Others will suggest that perhaps God is not powerful. Maybe He is good, maybe He is loving, but He has no power to overcome this evil. Baka wala siyang kakayanan na gapiin ang lahat ng kasamaan sa mundo. Yung iba naman will suggest that God does not care for us. He's not concerned at all. Baka naman merong Diyos pero wala siyang pakialam sa atin. And so, many theologians and philosophers have responded to these allegations about God, about the goodness of God, in light of the evil and suffering we go through. At least 3 important truths are very important to our conversation tonight. This is the first truth. Truth number 1, we live in a broken world. Ayan, ang ating mundo daw po ay wasak dahil po sa kasalanan. Because of our own fallenness as human beings, we live in a world that is full of corruption, full of violence, full of crime, injustice, and poverty, full of diseases. Ang mundo daw ho natin ay nangangailangan ng pag-aayos. Because of human sinfulness, we have mismanaged our planet. So this pandemic is a result of a broken world. All the virus outbreaks, whether it's a SARS virus, or MERS virus, or HIV virus, or the COVID-19 virus, all of these diseases are all consequences of how irresponsible human beings are destroying our planet. This is truth number 2. All creation groans for redemption. Ang buong kalikasan daw at ang buong kalikhaan ay nananabik at nananaghoy na ang Diyos ay dumating para baguhin ang lahat. We wait, we long, we groan for the time when God will make all things new, when God will restore all things, when God will correct all things that are wrong, when God will wipe away every tear. Yan. All creation longs and wait for God to destroy evil. All pain and all suffering will one day be eradicated when God redeems this planet. This is truth number 3. God knows what He is doing. So when He allows us to go through suffering, God has reasons for whatever He does. It's like there's a bigger plan, a grander, more beautiful purpose that is beyond our comprehension. We cannot simply see the big picture. Any impression that our world is imperfect, that our world is dysfunctional, comes from our limited understanding of a larger context. Hindi talaga natin lubos na maunawaan at maintindihan ang ginagawa ng Diyos. But we can trust that He knows what He is doing. Everything that happens in the world is part of a grand plan, a masterpiece. by an all-wise God. So we can say that if something does happen that seems from our perspective is painful and pointless and purposeless, any pain and any evil that we encounter in the world, we hope that God is able to cause all things to work together for our good. Moreover, it is also entirely possible that what man or what the enemy intends for evil, God could intend for something ultimately good. So whether it's violence or murder or rape or theft or a pandemic or a disease that we are now facing, we know that God is in charge. He knows what He is doing. So ang buhay daw po natin ay punong-puno ng sakit at lahat ng problema at kahirapan at lahat ng mga pagsubok na pinagdadaanan natin. And so we feel pressure, we feel pain, we feel problems, and we feel all these challenges, no? And sometimes we would want to give up. Parang nakaka-discourage, parang ayaw na natin magpatuloy. Parang hirap na tayo sa buhay na ito. So whether it's a sickness that is difficult to get healed, or whether it's a financial problem that we are going through, or whether it's a broken relationship, or failures, or disappointments in life, the question is, will we give up? Will you hang on when the tough times, when you encounter tough times in life? Will you stay strong even when your faith is under fire? Kung kagaya niyo po ako, madali ho akong ma-discourage minsan, madali rin ho akong manghina, na parang pagkasabay-sabay at patong-patong ang mga problemang pinagdadaanan ko. Parang hirap na hirap din ako magtiwala sa Diyos. Many times I am tempted also to give up because of many discouragements. There are moments when I would just break down into tears and say, I cannot do this anymore. Lord, parang ayoko na sa niyata. How can I go on? In spite and despite of all these troubles. So the question tonight, I will zero in on a passage, very, very beautiful passage that explains a glimpse of a beautiful theology of suffering. How can we go on living better even if life is bitter? Yan ang pag-usapan natin ngayong gabi. We will discover 3 reasons why believers can hang on, why believers can stand, why believers can overcome, and why believers don't have to give up. The passage tonight is found in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 16 to 18. It's beautiful. Pakinggan ho natin. Apostle Paul says, Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. Ito ang 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Paul was talking about the nature of his ministry, his message, and the sufferings that he's going through. You know, the whole 2 Corinthians is about Paul testifying about his sacrifices for the gospel, his passion to share the gospel to a lot of people. And God is glorified because of what he's doing. But he also shares about how difficult it was for him. He shared several reasons, in spite of what he went through, why we should not give up, why we should not be discouraged. Dahil daw po tayo mga mananampalataya, we see things differently from the rest of the world. Therefore, we have a different view on hardship. We have a different perspective on suffering. We have another angle when we look at difficulties we go through in life. That's why we can endure. That's why we don't have to give up. And so today we'll be talking about why should we not give up? Why should we endure tough times? Why can we go on living better even if life is bitter? This is the first. It's because outer pressures build inner character. Wow. Paul says, Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. Ang galing ho, ano? Para daw kahit na bugbugsado na tayo sa panlabas, Pero sa ating panloob, may ginagawa ang Diyos na malalim at maganda at malakas. Although the outward man is being destroyed, nagkakasakit, napapagod, nanghihina, but the inner man is being built up. Something in our character is being deepened and being strengthened. Paul now faces the fact that his human body, the outward man, is subject to hardships and sickness and pain. Parang sinasabi ni Paul, parang malapit na yata akong mamatay. Parang nangihinang na aking katawan. I'm slowly fading away, Paul is saying. No? The contrast is drawn. Sabi niya, but the inward man is being renewed day by day. This implies that while externally, Paul is weary and tired and bogged down, something great is happening internally. He used the verb being renewed. No, he's talking about a process na nangyayari to every believer. The Holy Spirit is changing us inside. The Holy Spirit is renewing us, strengthening us, and shaping us when we go through tough times, when we go through difficult times. In a sense, suffering is good for us. Kasi mas may ginagawa ang Diyos, may binabaklas ang Diyos na mga pangit, at mas may nilalagay ang Diyos na maganda sa ating mga ugali at mga puso. So some philosophers and theologians have argued that the nature of moral growth requires some form of suffering, some form of pain. Kailangan daw talaga natin to para lumakas yung ating character, yung ating moral foundations. For example, hindi ka naman talaga makaka-develop ng courage kapag walang adversity. Hindi ka rin makaka-develop ng virtue of compassion kung walang suffering around you, walang poverty at walang injustice na nangyayari. Also, you cannot develop the trait of generosity when there is no lack in the world, when there is no pain around you, when there is no need. So one reason for God allowing evil and pain and suffering to exist in the world, because it is a requirement for our moral development. It is a requirement for our character formation. It is a requirement to shape our faith and to change us inside. The inner man is being renewed day by day. And besides, suffering produces heroes among us. Because when we encounter pain and suffering and evil, these are opportunities to sacrifice, opportunities to show love, opportunities to care, opportunities to lay down one's life for another. Kaya itong nangyayaring global pandemic, we see the rise of heroes in our midst. Doctors, nurses, and health workers who sacrifice their lives, who risk their lives just to help others live. Churches and schools who open their buildings to become shelters for frontliners. Business owners and companies who give out of their generosity, even without profit. They donate food and groceries and protective equipments just to help fight the virus. So, in a sense, heroes rise up when we go through crisis moments like this pandemic. It brings out the best in us. Sabi nga ng isang author, we are always in an anvil. Lahat daw tayo ay parang pinapanday. Trials is God's way of shaping us for higher things. So character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Pag masarap daw ang buhay, hindi lumalalim yung ating pagkatao, yung ating ugali, mababaw. But when we go through the experience of pain and suffering and difficulty and troubles, our soul becomes stronger. Sabi nga ni Dwight L. Moody, God will not use a man mightily until He has hurt him deeply. So sometimes God allows us to go through brokenness. It's like a school training us to become stronger, better, higher people. This is the second reason why we can go on living better even when life is bitter. Temporal pain bring lasting reward. Wow. Paul says, for our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. In other words, Paul is saying our light and momentary troubles our temporary problems are producing a great reward that will last for eternity. Wow. So, Paul's affliction refers to his trials and his sufferings. He wrote this in a Roman prison cell. He was beaten, he was hungry, he was tired, he was exhausted, he is sick, he feels alone, he's emotionally down. So his suffering as an apostle, in a sense, gives him an authority to speak about encouragement. So he used the euphemism of light and momentary. Yung atin daw mga pinagdadaanan ay magaan at pansamantala lang kumpara sa napakabigat at napakatagal na reward that awaits for those who never give up. Do you know the word for glory is doxa? It means heaviness. So in a sense, Paul is saying, this reward of God, these eternal rewards that await us, they far outweigh all the suffering and the momentary and the light troubles that we go through. Kumbaga, kung ikukumpara yung ating pinagdadaanan ngayong mga problema at mga sakit at mga pasanin sa buhay, napakagaan lang daw ng mga ito kung ikukumpara to the eternal glory, the reward that far outweighs them all. Napakabigat daw, sobra ng gagawin ng Diyos na gantimpala doon sa mga nagtsatsaga. So God rewards those who endure and never give up. But we have to be willing to pay the price. In other words, the difficulties of life are intended to make us better, not bitter. So, ang ganda ho, ano? Parang sinasabi ni Apostle Paul na tayo daw po ay dapat na magtiyaga at humawak at kumapit sa Panginoon kahit mahirap. Dahil merong magandang gantimpala. Mas matagal, mas mabigat, kumpara sa mababaw at magaan na mga problemang pinagdadaanan natin. This is the third reason why we should not give up. Why our lives can be better even if what surrounds us is bitter. Visible problems bow to unseen realities. Ang galing ho, ano? Paul says, so we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. This is beautiful. In other words, temporal matters, they fade away, but eternal realities are forever. When we fix our attention on what is visible, we will easily become discouraged. Kung ang atin daw paningin ay nakatutok lang, nakapako sa mga bagay na pansamantala, ating mga problema, ang kamalian sa mundo, ang kapangitan ng buhay, tayo daw ay mabilis na manghihina, mawawalan ng gana. But, if we intentionally focus on things that are not seen, the realities that are eternal, that cannot be comprehended by the human mind, that cannot be seen, the goodness of God and the faithfulness of God, and the kingdom of God. So, Paul intentionally refuses to look on things that can be seen by the naked eye, but rather he focuses on the invisible providence of God, the invisible sovereignty of God, the invisible grace and faithfulness of God, so that he will not be discouraged. The word he used for focus, fix our eyes, is skopeo. It's the word for intently focusing. Talagang, yun lang talaga ang tinitingnan mo at tinititigan mo. Paul encourages his readers to set their eyes on the invisible, eternal realities of a new and future world with God. Parang kahit na ang pangit-pangit ng pinagdadaanan natin sa mundong ito, meron tayong mga pinanghahawakang bagay na mas malalim, mas maganda, mas mataas, kumpara sa ating mga pinagdadaanan sa kasalukuyan. A future world where God will restore all things, will transform and redeem all things. So in other words, success in life is not a matter of how much you know or how much you have or how much you can do. Success in life is really a matter of perspective. It's really a question of what do you see? Minsan daw ho, yun ang sekreto sa buhay, ano? Ano ba ang nakikita mo? Ano ba ang pinagtutuunan mo ng pansin? Meron daw dalawang salesman, two shoe salesmen, who went to a tribal village to give a survey of the area kung mabibenta ba yung kanilang mga sapatos. Tapos kailangan nila mag-report sa kumpanya. The first shoe salesman saw and reported to the company, "Oh, we will not have a good business here. People don't wear shoes. We will go bankrupt here." The second salesman also made a report to the company. The second salesman said, we will thrive here. Business is good here. People have no shoes yet. So minsan, no, pareho sila ng nakita, pero magkaiba talaga sila ng nakita. The other saw problems, but the other salesman saw opportunities. Para din hong yung naalala nyo when the people of God were about to enter the promised land, and Moses sent 12 spies to scout and to see if the land is ready for conquest. So 10 spies, the majority report says, we cannot do it. We cannot conquer the land. It's filled with giants. Puro higante. Wala. Talo tayo. But the minority report, 2 spies, Joshua and Caleb, reported otherwise. They said, we can do it. God is bigger than the giants. God will give them to us. Mantakin nyo, ano? Pareho naman sila ng nakitang lupain. Pareho naman silang nakakita ng mga higante. All of them saw the giants. But the 2, Joshua and Caleb, saw God bigger than the giants. And so, the secret to success in life is not really how much you know or how much you have. It's what do you see. That's why Paul says we fix our eyes on things that cannot be seen. In other words, the present reality is that we are living in a fallen world. And the consequences of this fallenness, this broken world, is misery, pain, and suffering. We live outside the garden, and our hearts crave and long and groan for God to restore all things that was lost. That means there is a higher reality at work that we look forward to. Meron tayong bagay na hindi nakikita ng mga average na mga tao. We see something greater. From the garden, we now wait and work and hope. We live by faith, waiting for that new city, a new order of things, a new heaven and a new earth. Yan. Our faith is anchored on that reality, the unseen things, an eternal reality that far outweighs all the things that we go through in this world. The invisible future reality which makes our journey worth it. Kaya masarap daw ang buhay kahit na marami tayong problema. Kasi meron tayong pinaguhugutan na mas malalim ng kasiyahan, ng kagalakan at katatagan sa buhay. Much deeper than what the world gives, what money gives, and what people can give. It's a hope, a reality, an unseen reality that anchors our soul. And so, the existence of evil and pain and suffering are necessary to achieve a greater purpose for this higher plan, for this ultimate good. So, the terrible natural disasters, the pandemic, and the calamities that we experience or that happen in the world are part of a higher purpose or a grand plan. There is another, better, truer order that we can experience in the world. Every event in the world, every experience in the world, whether good or bad, joyful or painful, contributes to that greater plan, to that greater purpose. Ultimately, the greater good will far outweigh all the apparent evil that we go through in this life. Suffering will appear to be ugly spots in the canvas that God is making, no? Parang pag tinignan daw natin yung mga problema, parang maliliit na dumi at pangit na mga kulay sa isang napakaganda at napakalaking obra maestra. But when we step back and look at the great masterpiece, we see that all of these shades and colors, dark and light, are all part of a great work of art. Naalala ko nga ho, no? There was a person who prayed. No? The way God answers prayer is different from what we expect it to. Someone wrote a prayer on how God answered this prayer. Look at this. He said, I asked for health that I might do greater things. I was given infirmity that I might do better things. I asked God for strength that I might achieve. I was made weak that I might learn to obey. I asked God for riches that I might be happy. I was given poverty that I might be wise. I asked for power and the praise of men. I was given weakness to sense my need of God. I asked for all things that I might enjoy life. I was given life that I might enjoy all things. I got nothing I asked for, but for everything I hoped for. In spite of myself, my prayers were answered. I am among all men most richly blessed. So let me ask you, are you going through tough times? Are you experiencing disappointments? Are you about to give up? Let me invite you to follow the example of the Apostle Paul, who chose not to be discouraged in spite of all the troubles that he's going through, even when his faith is under fire. Why? 3 things. Outer pressures build inner character. Temporal pain bring lasting reward. And visible problems bow to unseen realities. Those are the truth, the reasons why we can hang on, we can hold on when we go through this crisis, when we go through this pandemic, when we go through these times of uncertainty and fear and anxiety, when the world is filled with panic and frustration and anger and discouragement. We, on the other hand, instead, can hope on, can hold on, can trust on. Because God is bigger than the giants. Because we see things that nobody else sees. A reality far greater and grander and deeper and longer and heavier than the things that we go through in this life. God bless you.